If you're interested in buying a National NC-57, I told you once before, it's very important to understand what a normal model is and a B model. Now, the B model has this copper disc, and this pinch roller here, or this pinch washer, when you turn the main tuning, which I have the knob off right now, but in other words, it tunes the main capacitor. So there's a reduction drive right there. The normal NC-57 does not have that. Some of the B models still don't have this. And the feel of the dial and the reduction is so much nicer to have this disc. So look in the photos, look very carefully. You'll notice there's models, even though it's a B, that doesn't have this copper disc. This is one of the later models. Now, also, I showed you once before, this is an add-on that someone put on for a radio and phonograph. This is, when I saw this in the pictures, I got a little nervous and I said, you know what, this guy's got this thing super cheap. I'm going to take a chance on it. Because at the same time, there's one up there for $340 with $50 shipping, and it's got all kinds of holes drilled in it. It's got all kinds of things greeting you out the back. But this one here also has, I hope it's one of these tubes here. Pull this one out. Usually you're greeted with a different type of socket. Let me get it in the picture. All right, in this case, it's a brown Bakelite socket versus a black plastic socket. So it's the better socket in there. So it's a B model. You're going to find that later Bs have the socket, 3 sockets that are higher quality. It's got the metal disc, the copper disc for a reduction drive, and then the speaker will be mounted slightly different. This is the first model. Let me move my camera. I like using a tripod. I hate videos where people try to hold the thing steady. All right, this is the first speaker I've ever gotten on NC-57 that hasn't had a hole in it, that has all the original mounting hardware. And the only problem with this radio wasn't the shipper's fault or the manufacturer's fault, is Fedex. I listened to the guy drop it on the ground out there. It said on it, fragile, heavy and fragile. And I listened to him slam it to the ground. He did bend the cabinet. Yeah, I know I could go after FedEx, but I gotta tell you, don't ship anything FedEx. They've done enough damage in my lifetime already to my stuff. And I just want to show you another thing you're going to run into. In the pictures, let me move my light to this side. In the pictures, you're going to see weird things through the windows of the radio. And that's because this plastic bezel, we'll call it a bezel, if it's in a warm area like an attic, it'll warp. If the radio is laying on its back, it'll warp into the mechanism. This has to be removed. But this radio is in, except for the bent outer chassis, which is, I can straighten it out. It's in very good condition. It's better than good. It's got some little bit of oxide in some parts where it has been around some moisture. But for the most part, it's in incredible shape. And the knobs still have that shiny reflector in them. It's got the blue knobs. That's another giveaway. Blue knobs means it's a later model. But watch out. Someone might do that to suck you in accidentally. But it came with all the knobs. A speaker that doesn't seem to have a hole in it. These speakers have good sound, but for some reason, you know, I've handled them and I put holes in them. They're just jinxed. All right? And the hanger that holds the speaker, the person took one of the screws out and he hung this thing, this switching mechanism, so he can go between phono and radio. We'll take that out. But I had to buy another one. I saw it. I'm like, this one's in better shape than the ones for $300 something bucks. Oh, and the $300 something one wasn't even a B. it was a regular model. I'm like, boy, the poor person that buys that. But this one here, the guy wanted $100, and I kept looking over the pictures, and in the back, they looked like they took some Brillo pad and scuffed up the chassis, like they were trying to get some rust off it. But then I kept looking at the pictures. And I'm saying, well, this thing really looks in good shape. And then I compared it to every other one on eBay, and it seemed to be in better shape. So I'm saying, take a chance, take a chance. Of course, my pals at FedEx, anytime something comes from FedEx for me, it was supposed to be here yesterday. That's the first thing. They tell you it'll be here by a certain date, and then later on in the day, they change the time. It's still going to come. And it doesn't come. It comes the next day. It goes into pending or whatever. Go read up on FedEx. They're not the most reliable company. And I'll say that with persecution, because I've had to deal with them. They lost a track phone on me, and I went through the ringer with them, and they said, yes, your track phone came to our facility. It went in, but it never came out, and we'll replace the phone for you, but you got to give us the serial number of the phone. So I call up track phone, and they tell them, and they said, we don't have any way to tell the serial number of the phone. He says, get real. So I told them what happened, and they said, we'll send you another phone. Well, track phone never sent me another phone. So I went over to Walmart, and for $10 or $20, I bought another phone. And I just said, that's it. So then FedEx kept emailing me, asking me questions, and then somebody filled out a ticket on track phone, and they kept pulling the ticket. Finally, I told them off to stop pulling the ticket. They couldn't solve the problem, because as soon as I said, what's the problem? I said they need the serial number of the phone that got lost in their facility. See, FedEx saw that it came into the facility, and it never got out. So someone saw the box. They knew it was a phone. They opened it up, saw it was a freaking flip phone, and then they probably tossed it somewhere. And that's the way it was. But that was, I should have kept track of all the stories of FedEx that I had problems with. But go read up on it on FedEx, and you'll see pile after pile of messages of people that waited for 3-4 days for a package that was in the next town. I think that's it. All right, that's it.